Well, it's Wednesday. Happy hump day to everyone who's watching. Yes, greetings and salutations, you wonderful, magnificent, and beautiful bunch of hobbyists and outlaws, pirates, astronauts, lion tamers. Always given the rough end of the stick. But yes, I have returned as foretold. And you may have noticed the last week or so I've been on a massive build. I didn't realise how much I would build and paint in this week and a half or so, but it's been a lot. So salute to you. They are torturing children out in the park, as you can probably hear. That's what you'd expect nowadays. It's still like let's torture some children in parks. Makes sense. But anywho, I have to have the door open because it's quite warm. Sorry, got a real frog in my throat there. That got it. So yes, I was building these little ships. If it could focus, it'd be nice. This is so close. Well, this is a ship. It's what they call a Sparta class attack cruiser for the Alliance. Front and back heavy gun batteries and a single little gun battery up front there. You have big broadsides on the sides, and they're vastly broad. So I built. These are the last two of the frontline sprue ships that I had. The only sprues I had remaining were the support sprues, which were by default really, because you can only build 3 ships out of a front or 3 class of ships. You can build these, which are the light carrier, the Jupiter class light carrier. You can build the Scorpio artillery vessel, which has a massive ballista, as they call them, on the top, and also a little turret at the front, which I haven't magnetized. I haven't got around to magnetizing. I will. I haven't yet. And then you have the Vulcan supply ship, basically. So if, for instance, you had a ship that had limited ammunition for a special weapon of some sort, and it was within close range of a Vulcan, it would resupply it, so it could, continue shooting those really heavy weapons. So the thing is, since they brought out the Minerva Battlefleet set, so the Minerva Battlefleet set, you've got 3 frontline sprues, 3 support sprues, and the Minerva carrier, which is that puppy. So that's the big boy, and then you build ships. Since then, they've redone the Orbats. So you used to be able to take 3 Scorpios in a squadron. Now you can't. You can only take 2. So I had 3 sprues. I built 2 of these, and I thought, right, okay, I've only got 1 left, so I might as well build a Vulcan. Makes sense. Forgetting that I had the other support sprues, but you only get 2 sprues in there. So I could have built a squadron of 3 of these, but I built a Vulcan, and I'll stick with that. I've got plenty of carriers. I've got Minerva. Obviously, the French sections have got 2 carriers, but the Italians have only got the 1, and they've got 1 battleship, which was the Mars, which I think is what I started last week. I got most of it done, and if this camera was a little bit better, it would be nice to actually focus, but the blur, you can't see it. It's got dazzle paint on it. There you go. So it's just the last two big ships. I have got a couple of the Peugeot destroyers and the Cestus Zabraks. So I've got 4 of each of them, but they don't take a lot of effort to build and paint. So I'll start on these and see how it goes, and then probably start on those small ships as well. I see Go For It Painting is in the stream. Hello, how are you, buddy? You alright? Hello, have a great picture. Thank you very much, I'll try my best. Coke Zero with Jack Daniel's honey in it is the drink for today. I think I've earned it. Work was particularly hot. Had lots to do today, and I was absolutely sort of like disgusting by the time I got home. So showered, fed, and ready for action. Well, that's what I keep telling myself as I'm looking for my. Oh, there it is over there. I was looking for my paint. So, how is everyone's weeks progressing? Happy Hump Day to those who abide by the Hump initiative. I picked myself up some exploding candy. It looked interesting. So, I might give that to go a bit later on. Right, brush. Obviously I've sprayed these with Halfords Grey primer, and I'm just going to attack it with a big brush and Fenrisian Grey Air, because it's thinner. So this is what we do. Because it's more a subtle bluish tinge. If you go like multiple layers, then yes, you'll get a stronger pigment, but it's not what I'm after. I want that slight differential in the grey, so you have got that sort of bluish tone to it, because when we get to matching these up against like my Crown ships, they're all sort of like a lot darker grey, so more battleship grey look. I used Mechanical Standard grey for them. So I also used to stress a little bit about like going too heavy with like metallic, especially like for superstructure and stuff. And then I just looked at pictures of aircraft carriers and realised, you know, even like, you know, older style ones, they'd still sort of painted a lot of the structure. So that's why I changed my approach. And so I probably would have done that in like lead belcher and then the wood for the runway. But I've come around, I've seen the light, and that light is like blue, or bluish grey. Crevices. Now, I'll be straight with you. I had a little bit of an incident earlier on when I was cooking dinner, and Timmy, the dog, decided to stealthily stick itself right between my legs as I was moving. So I caught it with one leg, lifted my other to avoid like punting it through the door as I stumbled, but in doing so, I've sort of twisted and I've sort of jolted my lower back. So, coupled with my bad neck that I've had for the past week and a half, I've been in the wars. So, I'll obviously get on with these, and if I do find it's the alcohol is not covering, then I will probably finish. I'll probably do a couple of hours. It's normally that bad, but I just wanted to make sure that people who are here, because yeah, sometimes I do go on and on, but to be fair, I haven't been doing much late ones recently. So, but just putting it out on there. So he takes a step. Right. So you can see the difference there between the blues. So you've got that nice bluey tint because, you know, they're Italians. They're going to be a little bit more. This is something actually it is true. Because fact set last week, like with certain navies, like the North Korean Navy have green submarines. Well, they have black ones as well, but they have green ones, and that's because part of the oceans where they patrol, it has a lot of sort of like algae content and stuff, so it's a lot greener. And I thought, wow, I never even considered. I always thought, yes, yeah, paint them black, grey, whatever. But they actually paint some of them green for that purpose. So, although as a kid, one of my favourite films I was introduced to whilst on a coach trip to sort of, I think it was Italy, for Christmas, and I made friends with this kid on the bus, and his dad was the actual bus driver. So it was like a family holiday for him. So his dad's working, his family's gone out on this coach holiday to Italy. But obviously they got to choose their favourite films on the video that you will like look over and try and watch. But they introduced me to a film called Operation Petticoat, which was a Cary Grant and Tony Curtis movie. And it's actually like it's quite funny about the USS Sea Lion. I think it was the Sea Lion. And during like their operations, there's a lot of like wacky things happen. And Tony Curtis is a bit of a charmer. He was like a adjutant to an admiral or something, but he was like a dance instructor for the admiral's wife, and had a little bit too much of a thing with the admiral's wife, and the admiral decided, right, you can, because you're enlisted, you're getting transferred, and he transferred into a submarine. But anyway, he's a bit of a chancer and all that, and one of the problems they've got with the Sea Lion was that getting hold of supplies. And Tony Curtis gets a little team together and basically just steals stuff from left, right and centre to get the boat operational. And there was one instance where they needed to do a repaint because they had just repairs and stuff, and normally they'd put a primer layer of red lead, and then they'd go over with another colour, like normally the grey sort of thing. Unfortunately, they only had X amounts of red lead, and they only had X amounts of like white primer. So yeah, they made it pink because they had to get out of harbour before they could actually paint it proper colour. So yeah, they've got a pink submarine going around the Pacific, doing stuff, and it's just fun. But it's a really good film. So I enjoyed that as a kid, and I watched it a few years ago, and it's still like got that nice little old movie class about it. But a lot of those films they are sort of timeless because they are from a time before what we could really understand and all that, and it's made you can just watch them and you just accept them because that's what it was like in those days when they make these movies. But yeah, obviously not realistic. Well, apart from the submarine, a little bit of action in it, but quite a lot of comedy and drama. So there you go, movie choice for you. Right. Oh, hello! Let's see, you snuck in there. Roll on to explode. And how are you this evening? Thank you for dropping in. I do tend to ramble at times, so I do look up. I've been here, but I couldn't talk. I was moving my FDM printer, and it's very heavy. Alright, fine, that's fair enough. You have to be careful with those things as well when moving. So I do have a printer. My friend gave me it because he has several, and he just said like, yeah, have a printer. Okay. It needed some repairs to it. It needed a new doohickey and one of those thingies. I don't know what it is. I just got it, and my mate Phil put it together. But I've had it for over a year, and I've not done anything with it. I should actually invite Phil to come round and say, like, Phil, like, come round, tell me what I need to get for it, and help me set it up, and then I can print something when I'm at work or whatever. There is, I did get hold of some STLs for Imperator Titan, which are free to download. It's called the Walking Cathedral. So yeah, if anyone wants to print themselves a Imperator, and it's quite a good looking one as well, to be fair, that's what you want to look for, Walking Cathedral. There might be other ones, but that's the one I know, and it's free, so there you go. Tired, but I'm okay. How are you? Tired. You've probably heard me mooning about back. Was a tut-tut for printing off an out-of-production model. I did mention to you, yeah, if you use because they don't make it, so that's a loophole. And I would be building it in bloody full scale. This is for AT only, if I do actually get around to actually printing something off. And again, they don't have an Imperator in there. You can't even play it in the game. But it's a model that I would like to just have sitting there or up on the shelves in my Gundam. So apparently it weighs 22 kilograms. I'm not strong enough there. Oh no. What printer is it, if you don't mind me asking? Because I've got was it a Mars? I think it is. Yeah, Elegoo Mars. I definitely don't have 2 terabytes of 4K files, including most of the Titanic range. Tut tut. I've got several friends who print off stuff. They don't necessarily print off Titan stuff, but as I was saying the other day, they do like the weapons for like the big guys, because Forge World don't produce them. So because we play with AT rules on the big scale stuff, we go, yeah, that's fine. You can do that, but we don't want people turning up with fully printed Warlord, Titan, Reavers, Nemesis, all the main Titans that are produced by Forge World, because that is naughty in that respect, because it is sort of, it's like IP theft, or whatever. It's all complicated. That's why I don't get involved in that sort of shit. But you can print weapons off on the premise that if they do produce a weapon, you swap, you buy one. Hello, Plastic Peter. Evening, Lee. How are you tonight? Master of the Titans. Heard Imperator. Looking at getting 2 in my collection. One by Olympica Fosse and another custom kit print Kish Bash. Thumbs. Go for it. I say that I think it would be nice to have an Imperator, especially like now you've got Legions Imperialis out in the world. Now, having an Imperator standing there on the battlefield, just going badoom, blowing the crap out of everything. You know, what's not to love? It's obviously getting the scale right, because I was in a seminar when famously Tony Cottrell, the head of Forge World, many years ago at a Horus Heresy Weekender, said when he was asked about Imperator for AT, he said it's a bit big because Imperators are 3 times the size of a Warlord Titan. So if you had an AT scale Warlord Titan, which is just under 6 inches, 3 times that is 18 inches, which is the size of a 40k scale Reaver Titan. So we know how much they cost, and if you said, like, you know, it would be too expensive to produce something of that size. Obviously, lots of people have kit bashed Imperial Knights into that sort of thing, and obviously there are files where people even I think they've like not scanned, but they basically got the dimensions of the Titan Legions epic slash dude Imperator, and upscaled it a little bit. So there are things about, but you know, they can make it out of plastic. You know, we've got Imperial Knights now, which are plastic. They're quite big. They don't fall apart. Something that I did post on my Instagram, up there, you can see that white dude standing there, which is a Gundam Unicorn. That's plastic. There is no glue holding that thing together. It is just push fit, and it's there. You know, that stands as tall as a Reaver Titan, because I took a picture of it next to my Reaver Titan Iracundus. So the technology is there. They can do it, but it's the willingness to do it. I know, obviously, if they were to produce a Imperator kit and it was priced appropriately, sort of thing, and not Reaver levels, like in resin, you know, if they did it in plastic, brilliant. I would definitely be having 2, because I've always said I'd have 2, because, you know, 1 for the traitors, 1 for the loyalists, and piss off. Sorry, pardon my French. But if they produced it and they priced it too expensive for AT, you know, then no one's going to buy it. That's what you got to juggle with, is getting ouch. Sorry, as I said, hurt my back. So yeah, it's all. Sorry, I'll catch up with the chat. Sorry. I also have Ender 3 Pro FDM and a Vox Labs Proxima Elegoo Saturn for Solar printers. Nice. I think one of my mates got that. Makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. I was going to say 28mm scale. Do you have a spare room for it? I have the Titan hangar, which is a hidden location somewhere on the planet. Yeah, that's it. I'd buy it as a plastic kit. Yeah, you know, as I say, as long as it's Oh, I might turn up the mic a bit. Yeah, 2 secs. That's. Sorry. Where's that? There you go. Hello, 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 hello. Is that any better? Am I coming through clearer? Blink once for yes. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Solar resin, FDM plastic. See, I have no idea. I think the Mars is a resin one, or is it a plastic one? I don't know. I'll have to get Engine Phil to assist me. He's got printers. Way better, much better. Thank you, Brass. Thank you. I had my dial on my speakers turned up all the way. Yeah, I probably turned it. I can't remember why I turned it down. Maybe I was just doing a smooth move, like ASMR sort of thing. I don't know. Resin. Thank you. See, I'm learning all this stuff. I have no idea how to do it, but thank you. I've learned stuff. I'm so happy now. See? It's not the alcohol. It is the alcohol. And it's your lovely presences here. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with little old me. Yeah, so I think with things like AT in particular, because AT is a really good game. That's why I play it, and that's why I have lots of Titans for it. And I think they could go the way they wanted to in the original Adeptus Titanicus, because they wanted to do lots of different Titans, but they didn't have the technology to do that, and or money for molds and stuff, because it was mostly tin, lead or whatever you want to call it, and plastic back then, and obviously molds cost a lot to produce for their use. So having that in mind, and the technology available nowadays, because everything's done on CAD, they can upscale, downscale, whatever they want to do. They should get some more variant Titans out of it, because we've had like 2 new Titans, well 3 new Titans, sorry. Obviously originally it was Warhound, Reaver, Warlord. We've had Dire Wolves, we've had Nemesis, Warbringer Nemesis, and the Warmaster / Iconoclast, because they are separate Titans. Why put mag points in them? I think in some respects they could have done a bit more. Side Titan, yes, that's true. Yes, sorry. What, full scale Side Titan? Although saying that, I know I've seen one person who basically, I say kit bash, but they definitely printed off parts and made a Side Titan that appeared at one of the Titan walks, and somebody currently doing the same thing. So at the next major war there should be a Side Titan present at least. Or I use a lot of resin prints for my Dark Angels. They're heavily converted with resin and other kit bits. Yeah, you know, like embellishments and stuff like that. That's all cool. Little old Santa of Titans. You are a massive inspiration for me. Oh, thank you very much, Plastic Painter. It's stop it. Oh, bless you. It's just my obsession. I have the files for it. Yeah, no, I got, well, that's again one of the things, because I'm annoying. When they brought the Side Titan out, its release coincided with the Legio's Walk event at Warhammer World, which was the only official Titan walk that has occurred back in 2020, back in February 2020, so just before COVID to get in there, I pre-ordered it and thought I'll collect it from there. Now, because of all the little pictures they had of the Side Titan, I took one of my Titans, because I had the parts, because I identified all the parts. The only bits that were missing were the head, the chest plate, the bits on the top, and the Sinistorum Tenebrae, the right hand of darkness, its main weapon. So I basically assembled and painted 90% of that model. So when I turned up and picked up my bits I'd ordered, after the event, I went back to my room. I started working on cleaning them up, all that sort of stuff. And then obviously when I got home, I painted them. So I had the first Side Titan outside of Forge World painted in the world, because obviously I picked it up that morning, got on with it, and it was fully done because all I had to do was a head, chest plate, top section, and the weapon. So yeah, I'd take that. You know, I actually have a photograph of what I did with the one that they painted that was on the display in the Forge World store. So I'll dig that out and post it somewhere, probably Instagram, no doubt. But yeah, it was a great event. I killed lots of Titans, as you would expect, and yeah, it's a shame that there hasn't been more. But then, obviously, there's not going to be a lot going on when there's COVID and everyone's locked up. And so, yeah, but they could do more Titans. You know, it'd be nice that, like, we are still missing the Scale 7 and Scale 11, because Warlords are Scale 10, War Masters are Scale 12. So there's 11 sitting there going, hi, how are you? So we've got also, yeah, so it goes from Warhound, Scale 6, to Direwolf, which is also Scale 6 because of the lore involving Legio Audax. Although Direwolf should have been Scale 7, really. It's slightly bigger than a Warhound. But it should have been a Scale 7. But because of the lore itself of Audax, and they wanted to have something in with Audax, that was, and I know from good authority that Aaron regrets saying they were purely Warhound only when he was asked. So he didn't even think about, you know, the whole thing properly. But they're not. It's what's part of their charm with Legio Audax being all Warhound and Direwolf now. So yeah, they should have a Scale 6 and a Scale 11 Titan of some description. So, or even a Scale 5, because they did mention that there were Scale 5 Titans in the last, the Loyalist and Traitor books they brought out, the compilation books, because they put everything in there and put a little chart saying Scale 5 Titan. It's like, what? So 5, 6, and 11. So 7, yeah. 5, 7, 11. Brush. So, those who are hobbying, what are we hobbying tonight? I can't be the only one hobbying. Artist Empire. I know very little about Titans, to be honest. Well, it's handy that you've made my acquaintance, being as I am a bit knowledgeable on Titans. You know, I've built a few. I battle with them regularly, or semi-regularly. Honestly, Lucius Titans, I never liked them. They're too boxy. I know obviously they had the when they done Titan Legions or Titan Armageddon or whatever. So it's it had the boxy Reaver, the boxy Warlord, and stuff like that. I just no, it doesn't do. I like sleek lines, cures driven snow. I'm off the clock at the moment, so now hobby. Yay! I won't be able to get an official one anytime soon. No, well, Lucius, because it's out of production, so I'm sure that there are files out there where you can get Lucius's. And again, it's out of production, so it's not a lot. Like if someone turns up to a walk with a Lucius, it does raise eyebrows. You can't get hold of them. They've been out of production like 10 years at least.
You're on YouTube watching
Oh,
chill,
bloody hell. That's the one thing,
Did you
know,
that there's a YouTube
I
music
asked for
app
my
where you can listen to
chilled,
playlists
relaxed
based
stuff.
on
Is that I have to talk over this now because of obviously
whatever mood
it doesn't
you're in?
allow for adverts
not
and
see
stuff,
that
so I can skip. Thank you very much. Yeah, bloody adverts in it. I'm seeing no issues printing it then. Oh, I already had it. Oh, bless you. But yeah, it's I've never really sort of dug the aesthetic. As I say, it's too. It reminds me of a truck. The head is just like a Scania cab from an articulated lorry. Mars pattern. Yeah, I am being biased because Forge of Mars, and Mars is in my name. So yeah, my collection would make you blush. I'm sure it would. What? Oh no, notifications. So there's lots that they could do, but it's doing it. And actually going, yeah, let's do this. But the thing is, they say they've got to keep things going, and like with having legions out, sort of thing, they need to support that and keep the ebb and flow of that going. To keep the interest going, and if they cut and run like they did before, really, it's not going to help the games. The Mars pattern makes me think Titan houses. The Lucius pattern makes me think more Space Marine. Yeah. Well, as I was saying about your Dark Angels Imperial Knights thing, Imperial Knights and their houses are like an independent thing within the Imperium. They changed it, they retconned it a little bit, because initially it was like the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Knight houses were a separate entity altogether, and it was an alliance between the Knight houses and the Imperium. And then they started doing, and with that, the Knight houses could choose to ally with the Mechanicum or the Imperium. So that's why you had Mechanicum Knights and Imperial Knight houses. But they've since sort of dropped that thing, like basically had them wholly within the Imperium now. So they don't have that sort of cool like independence aesthetic to their lore. But the whole idea of Knight houses, and the thing I like about Titans as well, is like that independence that they had back before the heresy. Like Titan orders and Titan legios were autonomous. They could move. They had their own ships, fleets, and everything. Then the Horus Heresy, because of paranoia and all the stuff that happened with the heresy, they had to basically rein that power in, because having a Titan Legio able to deploy itself wherever it damn well pleased is quite dangerous, because Titan Legios are a dangerous thing, full stop. That's why they had to have the Titan Death at Beta Garmin to thin the numbers, because they couldn't allow that many Titans all turning up to Earth, or Terra, sorry. So that's why Beta Garmin was a massive war zone, and that's why so many Titan Legios got deployed there and died there. They made enough mess in a whole subsector, let alone if that amount of Titans had ended up on Terra, that would have been terrible. Terra would not exist. Still, there was a lot of Titans on Terra, for and against, but yeah, they're not things that you want to have running around on their own reconnaissance. So that's how part of the thing with the Adeptus Mechanicus becoming an Adeptus, so part of the Imperium, because the Mechanicum was being, because the Mechanicum was traitor, so to speak, with Kelbor Hal on Mars, the Mechanicum's the Super Magos dude, damn it, Fabricator General, sorry. And because you had Zagreus Kane on Terra, who was the Locum Fabricator General, so the second in command, so he's trying to be the head honcho of the Loyalist Mechanicum, but the binary succession, because it should all just add up to one, and that sum could not be completed, that calculation could not be completed because there was two people claiming to be Fabricator General. So they basically said, okay. And to be fair, Kane wanted this. He wanted to have the safety net of being an Adeptus, made an Adeptus, because it benefited Mars, the Loyalist Mars, because obviously they didn't have Mars, but they wanted to get Mars back. And having that safety net helped them, but it did mean that they had to sacrifice, well, the Titan Legios had to sacrifice their autonomy. They were allowed their independence still, so you can't just say, here, Fire Wasps, go here, and they can go, no, and you can't do anything about it. You can request and petition that they go to a certain war zone, and it's purely down to them if they do. But if they do decide to walk, then transportation is handled by the Mechanicus. Sorry. You want GW to support a game that isn't 40k and maybe AOS? It would be nice. That's the thing. It's like 80 is a really good game. It's one of the best rule sets out there. One of the easiest things to get into, and the models are awesome. Right. Terrible. Good pun. Come on, I know you're in there. Boob checker. Sorry, that was the vortex. I might look at it, but I wouldn't be able to play it anyway. Not much, anything around me. I'm 200 miles away from all the cool kids. You're not that far from me. You're Anglia, aren't you? So I'm Essex. So, I know you're up that way, like Suffolk, Norfolk, that direction. Right. A little 2 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, because like how is it? I'm just getting the maps up. Yeah, so you're probably around about an hour and a half from where I am, so not a great distance. You're just getting there. Obviously, A12 is a pig. Right. Now I'm having. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Don't worry. I was having doubts. I'm not now. I am committed to the plan. The plan is good. That's what it says. Pardon moi. Pardon moi. Ça c'est bon. And back on the show. Yes, you did hear a booby jiggler, as I call it. Whenever I use it, I always announce that I'm using it by saying booba shaker. Yeah, add 30 to 60 minutes because I'm on a motorbike and haven't got a big girl bike yet. Oh. Right. So when painting Titans, one of the big moans that people have is that, oh, it's so much trim to paint, oh, it's never ending. I use a flat brush and let's do that because it's a lot quicker, and once you've got the handling of the brush, because that's what it comes down to, is your handling. Painting trim is not that big a deal. And to be fair, after the amount of Titans that I have painted, I just get like very zen-like about it. So it's it is something that comes with experience. Now, I do make mistakes. I do miss bits on occasions, and that's why you are allowed to go back and touch them up and attend to any bits and pieces. So I've made several there, but I'm going to go back to it because this is just a preliminary section, because once I've got my base colours down and touched up the bits that I need to, I'm going to be going over it with wash. So that's why from that will become that. So it's a very subtle difference, but that looks a lot more sort of worn and lived in, whereas that looks painted. So that's what I do, and it just hides a lot. But it's just being able to handle your brush, and that's what a lot of painting technique is knowing what sort of angle to attack. I also know in this situation I don't have to be too tidy because I'm going to be painting these bits afterwards. That's when I'll be careful. But you know, as long as you just take it easy, Fine. So a little bit of touch up. I painted Gunman's armour first, trim second. I don't mind trimming that large. Yeah, because I think somebody, I think it was like one of the GW heavy metal painters or whatever, they were saying paint it gold first and then just fill in the blue. But a lot of people get like confused. I mean, what? But yeah, I'll just do how I find comfortable, really. I'll use masking tape for when I'm doing stripes and stuff on Titans, because that is a quality thing to do. Might put a little bit too much paint on that brush. Damn it, Janet. Definitely a miss there. That's how we fudged it up there. But you just again get into a mindset where, yeah, I've made a mistake, I can deal with it, and not getting worked up over the fact that you've painted over something. Because see, I just do like tabletop standard. I don't go out and doing like, you know, really ornate schemes and stuff. Not on these, you know. But you know, they look the part, and that's all I'm worried about. That they look authentic and different from what I've painted already. I don't want them to be the same colours, because then that sort of like snaps you out of the fantasy reality of the game. So just taking it easy. I tend to go overboard. And so, you know, tidying up is all part of the process. Like, I used to have like friends where they'd, you know, they've accidentally just gone a little bit too over, or they just had a little bit of a shake at the wrong moment. You know, it can happen to the best of us, but getting worked up over something that's meant to be a hobby, it's meant to be relaxing. If you make a mistake, it's all part of the process. You know, just attend to the mistake and move on. If your hobbies start causing you stress, it's not a hobby. It's a punishment. That's one. Oh. I used to get worked up. Now I've mellowed out. I think that's the way to be. You know, just sometimes, like the amount of times that I've, especially with this gold paint, when I've closed the lid and I don't realise I've got a bit on my finger, and then I pick a model up and you go, so you attend to what you can. It's not been too bad, just like catch a little bit here and there and everyone. But yeah, you just deal with it, get it sorted. It's paint and plastic. I can remove the paint as much as I like, and I can add or remove as much material as I need. Only limit is time. There you go. Spoken like a true Jedi Master. If I need to spend as much time as I want to resculpt something back to exactly how it was before. Oh, before, yes. As I say, it's all time, and time is relative. Time is all part of the hobby. You know, you have X amount of time to do something. It gets a little bit more when you're doing like commission work, obviously, unless you have, you know, agreements with somebody. It's like Crystal McDowell. When she takes on a commission, she's not one to be Speedy von Speederson. She will do whatever she's asked to do, but she'll do it in her time, and you know, that's fine. And people are understanding like that. You know, you're paying for her to do a good job. So if you want her to do a good job, you leave her to do her work, and she'll get it to you, and it will be awesome. Especially our Blood Bowl teams, they're freaking awesome. But you know, I don't do commissions. I've done commissions, but like more for like birthday presents sort of thing. That I said, I'll paint you this as a present or whatever, so you don't have to, or you know, stuff like that. So that I'm not charging, but I'm doing it in my own time, and you get it once it's done. You know, and you have to expect that. You know, I've done stuff for friends and all that, and I don't mind doing stuff as long as they're not taking the piss. But I did do one thing where a friend, as a favour, said like, "Oh, can you paint me up some Skitarii?" I said like, "I'll build them and paint. I'll build them up, sort of thing. I'll send them to you. You paint them, and everything's groovy." So I went, "Yeah, sure, no worries." Because I've painted Skitarii and I've got my technique down. But when the stuff turned up, they weren't built, and there were other models in there. He had some Star Wars like models. I think that he printed off with Skitarii kits. So he was basically making use of spare parts to make more troops, but with these sort of like droidica type bodies or whatever. So that sort of like my OCD. What's going on here? And there was a model in there, and it was painted. So I went, "Oh yeah, I've got these medals and all that. I just painted one. There's a painted one in there. You want me to paint over it?" And he went, "No, I want you to paint it like that one." That is a problem, because I don't paint like them. I paint like me, and I couldn't replicate that, and that drove me mad. I tried, because I say, like, it's a friend of mine. You know, I always wanted to help out and, you know, do my best, but I couldn't replicate what they'd done. And yeah, it was making me like really sort of like not good, because I couldn't do what I wanted to do, because it wouldn't look the same, and it didn't look the same. I painted about 10. We had about 50 guys, including some of these spare ones. Well, no, actually, plus the spare ones, the kit batched ones. And eventually, he just said, "Look, just send me in back, dude. Like, you know, I don't want to, you know, us to have any, like falling out or anything like that. So just send them back to me. I'll get it sorted." So I did. And then it felt like a weight had been lifted, because then I weren't like looking at these things and saying, "I can't do it, I can't paint it," because it was really, you know, affecting me. Yeah, trying to stick to brief. Don't overdo it. Give a rough estimate on time, and ask their expectations on time, etc. I would not build AdMech or Necrons for anybody for free. I like commissioners giving an example model. It helps me a lot with my job. No, that's cool. But that's the thing. It's like I because um, I paint to my standard, which, as I said, is tabletop standard. I don't, you know, yes, I may have acquired a few sort of awards for models that I've painted, but you know, that's by the by. I don't go out my way to be an award-winning painter. All right, I'll enter the odd competition every now and again. Salute, um, and one time Golden Demon, and I was a finalist. Pure fluke. I weren't intending to do it, but I saw a friend of mine taking some models. Who was at the Horus Heresy Weekender in 2017, and I saw him with his Imperial Knights. I went, "Where are you going with them?" As we were queuing up for the first seminar, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to enter them to Golden Demon." I went, "What? You can do that?" I said, "Yeah. You just bring them in, and they mark you up and give you a ticket and all that." I went, "Oh, right. Oh, well, I'll enter some of my stuff." So I rented my car, grabbed that, took it in there, entered it. It was a Night Lancer, Night Castigator, sorry, that I entered, because I just finished doing some more work on it. I changed his head because I really didn't like the Castigator's head. So I had one of those Forge World Mechanicum heads. So I put that on it, and I thought, I really loved it. It went from my least favourite Cerastus Knight to my joint favourite, because I love Lancers. So it bounded all the way up there to joint favourite. I entered it, and then when I picked it up on the Sunday, I'd given a finalist pin, and it just blew my mind. I thought, what? Because my mate Gary, he got nothing, and to me, his stuff was painted much better, sort of thing. I did find out that because he didn't have any decals on his models, they get weathered. They were beautiful. He's a really talented painter, and it gets that realistic sort of look and all that. But because he didn't have any decals on it, he got marked down. So I've never entered Golden Demon again, because that was to me that was pure fluke, But I got finest pin, and I'm happy with that. I'm never going to get a Slayer sword. Trust me, I know my level, and I know my lane. So yeah, that's fine. But I entered a few things in other things like the Legends of Paint. I've entered twice and got a silver. No, I've got two silvers. Sorry, I got two silvers and a bronze. But my last one, Emma, part of the painting team, because you could take your model for like some CC afterwards, and she said, if you'd just done a little bit more with the flat, the red was a bit flat, and that was the only thing that was against this, and you just missed out on a gold. And we're like, oh, well, okay, the red is flat. Yes, I was sort of rushing through and trying to do it, and I do blame myself for that, because I should have just done a little bit of wash around the edges. That was it. That's all it really needed, to be fair, right? So I went, oh, well, thank you. I'm happy. I was happy with the silver, to be honest, but being told that I just missed out on gold because of that. Although they did say they didn't really pay any attention to my base, because I put a lot of work into that base. Bases don't count. It's the models, by all accounts. So as it was in the display, I saw Louise, and I wanted to show her, because Louise used to do all the Titan artwork that was in all the books, and I based this one off of a Titan that she'd drawn called Vindicta Manibus for the Fire Wasps, and I went, this is based off of your artwork. And she looked at that and all that, and I said, and she's like, well, I said, yeah, I just got a silver for it, and she just went, without anything, she went, I would have given that gold. I went, oh, bless you. That's what I like You know, she'll just come out and say the right thing at the right time when you feel. I say, oh, I was happy, but you know, when you find, oh, I could have got a gold, sort of thing. But she just said, oh, I would have given that gold. But then she's, you know, can be biased. No, she won't. She's just so nice. She just knows what to say at the right time. Got to go now, I'm afraid. Time for my Patreon thing. Well, have fun with your Patreon thingy. Talk to you later. But, oh, bless you. That was mad, and she is. She's absolutely lovely. She's adorbs. But yeah, have fun with your Patreon hangout. Thank you for dropping in. It's been lovely to chat with your Titan needs and requests. Oh, no question. You had no questions. I just rambled. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye. Right. What was I doing? Completely forgotten. Oh yeah, I've got. So I just realised I missed a bit. So it's lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. So we'll get. So I'm going to stretch the back as well as. I was getting up earlier and I was just putting a bit of a deep heat onto my back outside, because if I sprayed it in here I'd be choking. Thank you. Oh, bless you. But yes, it's all groovy. This has gone quite well so far. As I said, it's just a case of repetition, rinse and repeat. Check those bits that you know is going to be seen. Learn how to handle your brush properly or appropriately to your hand. So, you know, you can do a lot with a flat brush. How to do it? Navy's looking good. Thank you very much. There's more of it just there. How are you, Richard? You alright? Have you had a good week? I bet you've been enjoying the heat. I know I haven't. It's been quite dreadful. I felt absolutely disgusting getting home today, so I just had to get in the shower. As soon as I got in, I thought, no, that's it. I need hot water on me, which is weird because it was hot, but you know, because you're dirty and sweaty. So sorry, but you know, I was. It'd been a busy work day at work, strangely. So a lot of physical labour, and that does build up a hum. I wanted to get nice and clean. It's good. Right. What I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Booba shaker. Oh, good, thanks. Loving the heat. Sleep is for wimps. I'm having 2 showers a day. Sounds pretty good to me. Oh, So, oh, again, mistakes, but we can get back to tidy them up. I just heard someone really letting out a belch there. I think it might actually be a... I don't know. It's really weird, you know, like a deep belly belch you hear when someone's drank like a can of beer really fast. One of those types of belches in the distance. Because they're not torturing kids in the park anymore. It's the teens are over there, by the sounds of things. How different are naval battles to Titan battles? Quite a lot, because one involves sea-going vessels, the other one in basically walking battleships, technically. Because that is basically what Titan War is. It's land-based battleships. Maybe a little bit more manoeuvrable than a 2,000-ton vessel, or higher, depending on your ship. That was actually something that I learned a few months ago. There was like newsfeed stuff that you see, and it was basically something saying that one turret from the Japanese battleship Yamamoto, which was the biggest battleship of the Second World War or something, but one turret from that ship weighed 2,000 tons, which was about the same displacement as USS whatever, like a frigate. So the Yamamoto had a gun that was like, you know, turret that weighed more in its entirety than a frigate. You know, that's just bonkers. I'm just seeing I've missed another bit. Well, the aircraft carriers definitely had wooden decks. That was the whole thing about why the Suryu, Akagi, Kaga, and that other one got sunk at Midway. No, not as such. There was, funnily enough, with the Dystopian Wars, like hobby group, chat group, because we have a WhatsApp group for sort of the gamers that attend the games. They were talking about having a game towards the end of August, but nobody could commit. So that got waylaid, unfortunately. But yeah, there's I'd been sitting on these kits for a while, because where I get sent stuff out for War Cradle as a Wayland Games war host, or Wayland war host, and when I first got into Dystopian Wars, I kind of fancied the Alliance. The Crown won over the Alliance because I'd been listening to We Have Ways podcast with Al Murray and James Holland, and they'd been doing about the Royal Navy in the Battle for the Atlantic, the most important battle of the Second World War, which nobody ever talks about. Talk about the wolf packs, oh yeah. But the Battle for the Atlantic, if it wasn't for that and us winning that, we would not have been able to win the war, because we would have been starved of fuel, food, and materials. So it was the most important battle, but one that's not really talked about as much as, like, you know, D-Day and Arnhem and all that sort of stuff. But the problem with, like, naval battles is that they take place at sea. It's not as if you can get on a boat, head out there and go, oh yeah, this is where this ship sunk, and you go, ooh, it could be anywhere. You know, whereas if you're on a battlefield on land, yeah, that crater there, that was caused by an 88, that burnt out tank or remains of a tank, because there are still places in the world where there is still sort of Second World War paraphernalia still in situ. There's the famous place up in like Yorkshire Moors, I think it's, where there was a crashed aircraft, and it's just the frame of the aircraft is still there. Obviously a bit rusted and stuff like that, but like parts of it still just scattered there. Wow. Right, let's get the Belcher sorted. Very true, loads of places in France too. Yeah. France and Belgium. But yeah, it's would be nice to have a game, but as I say, I've been sitting on some of these kits, like the Minerva. I got that kit back in May last year, so it's when it was like one of the first kits I got sent out. So in the Battle Force you get the Minerva, which is the aircraft carrier. Then you also got 3 sprues of frontline ships and 3 sprues of support ships. So when I get the big kits, I'll get out and build a big ship in those kits, and then paint and photograph, and then obviously do my social media stuff. And not necessarily the smaller bits, because at the time I was more focused on doing my crown ships, because I wanted to get the crown all done and groovy. So similarly, sorry, don't worry. I got sent sort of last year. It was the Signs of Jutland, and I put my name down. So could I have Signs of Jutland? I like the look of their ships. They sent them out, and I absolutely loved them from the start. I thought I really liked these ships, and I built the whole box set in a week. So capital ship, all the little support ships, and like cruisers and stuff. And I really liked it. And then I thought, I'll have some of this. I like this. So they became technically my third fleet, because my initial decision was Crown and Alliance, because you've got to have 2 really. So if you're going to play against a friend, you be them, I'll be these. So now I have 3 these aren't going to be like my Titans, where I have like 10 different Legios, but because you get sub factions within the factions. So now I've got obviously the Crown, which also has within it the Indian Raj and the Canadians. So I've got some Canadian ships, which I haven't actually built yet. I just remembered I've got some Canadian ships. Really should get around to doing that. But Indian Raj ships, the Ganges battle ships that came out, battle cruiser, sorry, that came out. Again, really liked it. I built and painted all of that again very quickly. When you're in the zone, when you've got that passion going, yeah, it's great. And that's kind of happened with these guys on a bloody adverts coming through. I'm gonna have to keep talking a little bit and blah 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 blah. Skip. Thank you. Why? I'm not playing you again. You've been rude. So sorry, I've got to catch up with the chat. Oh, Silver Scratch Build Productions. Hello, peeps. Hello to you, sir. Silver Scratch Build Productions. These aren't going to be like my Titans. Yes, Gizmo, they're not going to be like my Titans. I'm keeping 2.5 factions because the Scions of Jutland are Scandinavian, which is part of the Imperium, but the Scions of Jutland themselves are a mercenary unit, so they can be played independently. So yeah, so that's why I've got them, and I really like them. I've got them sort of more, although Jutland is more associated with Denmark, I've got the Swedish little flags on and talking about Swedes, Edvin, oh my god, talk Scandinavians and Edvin turns up. How are you, buddy? Yes, good to see you. This is Dystopian Warships. I'll just give you. So these, apart from that one, the rest of them I've done within about a week and a bit, because I've just been building and painting them. These are the last two big ships that I've built, that I have. So these are two of the Jupiter class light carriers, and they all, bits, well, we can't even see it, a lot smaller than the capital ship carrier, which is the Minerva, and that's an assault carrier. I don't know how that plays into the game yet, but still, it's there. Healing. We all believe you? Yeah. I'm honoured, yes. The Scandinavian Batlight was lit. Gondor calls for aid! Get the Swedes in! And Harry comes sweeping down from the north. But yes, so yeah, I've got my Swedish Scandinavians. But as I said, each main faction has all these sub factions in there. So technically, I have 2 factions, but they have sub factions. So I have my alliance, which I've got all these Italians sitting here. I've also got 2 battle forces up there that have, well, the main ships have been done. It's all the support ships that need to be done next. So like the cruisers for the French, who are the main component of the alliance. So the alliance is made up of French, Portuguese, Italians, and Spanish, I believe. We've not seen much on the Spanish side of things. Portuguese, like in some regards, in the Crown, the Irish within the Crown maintain the weapons platforms, like oil rig type battle platforms, and the Portuguese do the same job for the alliance. So there's no sort of like sub fleet or whatever, sub faction fleet. So yeah, your loving of the kids have led me to my next question. With such detailed models, how do you know when to stop painting? I would become obsessed with picking out all the little details. Some people like that though, you know. I just, as I said, once I'm tidy these bits that I've missed, sort of thing, or messed, I should say. Then I'll be washing it over, and that's practically done. So yeah, it's a small scale game. As long as they look okay, they look cool. There's no like sort of blatant sort of like rubbish paint job. You know, there's not. You know, so if you're happy with it, go for it. You know? Everything's cool. Everything's groovy. But it's a personal choice, you know. My friend Scott, he is an exceptional painter. He's a real good talent, but he'll, you know, until it's nigh on perfect, that's when he stops. Whereas I paint until I'm happy with it. So I might be a little bit blasé, a little bit like whatever, but I don't make a big fuss over them. As long as they will look good on a photograph, on a like on an ocean map battlefield at Wayland or something, you know, that's all that matters to me. So that's why I get the main colours tied in, and then we go over with the wash, and that completes the majority of it. And then obviously you can do some extra details like windows. I'll put like paint the windows blue, but I'm not going to do like super fine reflective surfaces on these because it's no point. So they look good compared to like the professionally painted ones. Yeah, all right, they're not going to, you know, tear up you know, much, but they look the part, and that's what you want. You want your ships to look the part, and that's it. So if I was, you know, doing one for a competition, well, yeah, I'd paint it a little bit better, put more time and effort into it, but I don't do a lot of painting competitions. You know, I've entered a couple, like I'll always enter something into Salute when I'm there. But ooh, yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of yearing. A lot of yearing. Edvin, what are you doing, buddy? What are you building? What are you up to? Talk to me. I haven't spoken to you in ages. It's been so long. I've missed you. Have you finally finished moving? That's the real question I want answered. You're like constantly moving and doing stuff. Back in the day. That's all brushing over, locking in the colours. You know, there's some of the guys on like Facebook. There is a Dystopian Wars like groups, as there are with most hobby groups. The Sturgium Lounge, and it's like the official sort of thing for War Cradle and Dystopian Wars. And some of the paint jobs on there, there's some real talent. It's like with every sort of game faction group or whatever, there's always some super talents out there, and they just do some amazing work with their models. I just paint quick-ish. I know, man, right back at you. And yeah, I argued with settled in well now. Excellent. That's good to hear. How's Doggo? For those who wasn't haven't been around for long, like Edwin used to go on dog walks and watch on his phone as he's walking his dog. That was pretty awesome. Although that was also when we used to do stuff in Discord as well, wasn't it? You'd be on that because you'd be able to see people and we'd be able to see the dog as you're walking. Grass. I've been very absent online this summer, probably for the better. Right now, I'm building a base for my first 28mm knife. Cool. So, did you get Castigator, Lancer? Obviously, they've got the Acherons due soon, I think. Ouch. Also, those late to the party, I did hurt my back earlier on, so it was an attempt on my life. Well, that's interesting. I'm just going to top up my can with some Jack Daniel's honey. The official drink for these broadcasts. Yeah, the reason I was making a little bit of oh, that's not fun, is that this can of Coke Zero, the base of it has expanded, so it's a Weeble. So I'm just, that's how much movement. It won't sit flush. Well, I'm leaning it against the base of the mat, so that's just over there. Oh, the Swedish are in a weird combined cowboy union, Hanseatic League. That's very cool. Yeah, the Scions of Jutland, or just Scandinavians, they've got their own ships and all that. Although it's really weird, I did mention this to Engine Phil, because he sort of like organises, well, helps to organise the gaming events at Wayland. And I said to him, it's like, you know, the Scions of Jutland, the box set, the artwork on the front, which has got the Ragnarok, the Valhalla fast dreadnought that they have, and then you see that like Odin and Thor class ships and the Hoth corvettes, and yet in the Orbat, the Scions of Jutland cannot take as the mercenary fleet. They have their own fleet organisation. They have named vessels as well, which is cool, but they can't take a Valhalla fast dreadnought. They can have the variants, but they can't take a Valhalla, and yet it appears on the artwork. So it's like, what? Makes no sense. And I built the Valhalla to be a Valhalla, not realizing that I couldn't take the Valhalla. But because you get the spare parts, I can sort of just like plop something down on the rear and say it's one of the other ones. So that's what I would do in future when playing Scions of Jutland. Lovely. Right. So now we're going to do some touching up, which I know is everyone's favourite part of the evening. So as I said, because I'm using Fenrisian Grey, the Air variety, it is a little bit thinner, so it won't lose detail, but you might have to just give it a little bit an extra going over on certain parts. But this is all part of the process. Those were good walks. They were. And I'm glad that we got to share them with you and the dog. Yes. Strange enough, Edwin, right? Honestly, I was actually thinking of you earlier on. I thought, yeah, I haven't seen Edwin for a while. I wondered how you were, and you're here. This is all part of the you know, that time when I kept on thinking of people and they kept on appearing in the chat, because that was after Salute last year, and Annie from Bad Squiddo had tuned in to hang out for a little bit while she was tidying her lounge, I believe. And I found out afterwards that after I'd mentioned them, that she'd actually messaged them and say, "Hey, get onto the thing," and it turned up. And it was freaking me out because I thought I had superpowers. But I can summon anyone. I didn't mention them and they'd turn up. I think somebody said like, "Oh, ask for Benedict Cumberbatch" or something like that. I can't remember who. It was someone. Someone famous. Have you found any good walks with the new place now that you're settled in? Must be loads of places for you to go and ramble with Doggo. There's kids settled into the new schools and stuff as well. Bloody hell. The base of the can. Why you no work? Why are you being like this? causing me such stress? No fair. Nice. Yeah, the semester starts tomorrow, and they're pretty excited to see their classmates again after summer. Cool. I did used to enjoy that. Like, over here, 6 weeks school holidays. You go, 6 weeks, and next minute, like, it felt like you've had like a year off, and it's been 3 days. Because it just dragged. I remember one day, in my teenage years, of going out playing in the street with like buddies and all that sort of thing, and then like it felt like we'd been out for so freaking long, and then I've gone indoors to get a drink or something, and it'd only been like 2 hours, and I'm like, what the hell, we've done so much in that time frame. It's like so much has happened, and there'd been no time at all. The whole sense of time was completely skew with, because everything just seemed to take longer and all that sort of thing. It's like, oh god, but as you get older, time just moves so rapidly, it's scary. Kind of freaky. As for walks here, everywhere is stupidly beautiful, and nighttime walks are great. No light pollution means you can see plenty of shooting stars over the past few nights. That's pretty cool. I what do you call it? I was away to Aaron's start of the month. Yeah, 2nd to the 5th. I was over in Northern Ireland, and on the Friday night I got some really nice pictures of the stars. As you know, I like to take photographs of stars and stuff. But it was the first time in 23 years since I've seen the Milky Way. So unlike, I was just talking to a customer about it today actually, like when I saw the Milky Way in its entirety, in its full glory, didn't need binoculars or anything like that, it was there in the sky above us. And that was when I was in New Zealand, in a town called Kakura, or Kakura, wherever you want to pronounce it. I call it Kakura. It was just by pure accident, because living in London, well, growing up in London, and then parts of Essex, you don't bother looking up because you can't see anything because of the light pollution. But we just come back from getting some shopping from a 7-Eleven. I put the keys into the place we were staying at. It was like a little it was actually a bungalow in someone's back garden, so he rents out all the rooms in the house, and he also has a bungalow at the back for larger parties. So we took a bungalow because we wanted privacy and stuff. Didn't want to be hanging around with all these backpackers, even though we are technically sort of backpackers in a way. And I looked up and just saw the Milky Way, and it was just the most stunning, awe-inspiring moment in my life. Looking up, nudging my other half to look up and seeing all these millions of stars and gas clouds in the belt that is the Milky Way that you see. And it's always there, it's just light pollution stops you from seeing it. So you stood there and marvelled at that for God knows how long. But I haven't seen it since, until August the 2nd. It was a Friday night, and I was taking some pictures, And obviously, you know, obviously those who have seen my nighttime photography would have sort of like seen what I do. Like, I know you're using my phone with its 30-second exposure it has available on the camera, so you get a lot more light, you can see a lot more detail, a lot more stars generally. And as I was taking pictures, I've sort of just seen in the corner of one of the pictures, I thought, hold on a second, because last year I thought I saw, after I edited it, I thought, should that be clouds or could that actually be clouds? Because it had that sort of look to it, but you couldn't quite tell. So I just put it down to being actual clouds in a strange formation, you know, to give it the benefit of the doubt. But this year, it definitely turned out to be the Milky Way sitting there. But it's just a shame you can't see it with a naked eye. It's like with those auroras that we had recently, which I did go out the other night when they were meant to be like visible all the way down to Cornwall, but in Essex, nope, couldn't see them in Essex. And it was a clear night. Got some nice pictures, but no aurora. No aurora action for us. So I don't know if it will actually, you know. Right, so it might not show, it might do, but this is an unedited exposure. So this is just basically me taking a picture with the 30-second exposure on my camera phone. So why is that doing that? Why? Sorry. No. Why you do that? Why you do that? Oh, for God's sake. Right, there you go, that's better. So that there you go. So that is what I captured from Northern Ireland. It's a bloody shame that the light is not playing game. That's a bit better. But then you can see, there you go. But yeah, that is just freaking amazing. That you can just see like the clouds of the belt and so many freaking stars, because you could see more stars by eyesight anyway. So I thought tonight's going to be good for star photographs, but getting to see the belt was just amazing. So there's only like few places around England where you can get that sort of level of not having enough, basically having enough darkness to see the Milky Way. So, a very happy boy to see it again. Which is just so weird, because it's up there right now, just sitting there going, hi guys, why don't you come visit? But you can't, because it's too freaking light. Right. I'm just going to let them dry a second as I so just stuff going on in the world. Oh my god. Right. I'm just going to make sure that I have enough of my wash. Which probably haven't. Right. I've got a plan. It might not work, it might be deadly, but I shall try it anyway. Because we need men of action. Men of action! Ouch, 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 ouch. Ow. Men of wet action. Boober shaker. Oh, that's creepy crawly on my leg. It's quite unsettling. Washing to all the nooks and crannies. They're not letting it pool too much. Whew. So that's some washing done on this part. I might actually cheat a little bit because we have hairdryer. So that's probably why I turned the volume down. So hold on a sec. Right, I'm gonna turn the volume down again a little bit. Right, so there we are. We went back again. I hope that wasn't loud. I hope I actually did right and not sort of had it too loud for you to sit there going, oh great, we're listening to a hairdryer. So I wish your camera would bloody work. It's a really good camera when it wants to work. See, look at that. Look at that detail that I painted on my hand. It's fine. Does the job. Ooh, I normally do something with the. That's it. I don't know if any of you have seen stuff that Wayland Warcradle was sharing on their social medias earlier on, where Daz has been painting like the Crown Commander model for their Armoured Clash, which is their version of sort of like Legions Imperialis, and this guy's like on a power scooter. It's really quite funny, but the detail that Daz has pulled out of it though is rather exceptional. Is that he's got his epaulets and his little arm braids and stuff, his little sort of moustached face. It's a good old job. Yes. Oh. Give me some windows. I just realised just how quiet it is outside. Because where it started earlier on, we had kids playing in the park, and then teenagers turned up. But it's actually quite peaceful at present, so that makes for a nice change. What the fuck? What the? How the fuck are you getting? Where the fuck you gone? What the fuck are you? More importantly. Where we got that is our little visitor that we have on the camera cable.
YouTube Premium
Oh,
is
you
ad-free
Popsy,
YouTube
little
and the
ad-free
YouTube
and all
Music
that
app
sort of stuff.
all
You
together.
can't do that now. There you go. Sorry about that. So, my little chap. Oh. There, it's on me. He had to be removed. That's from the underneath. I'm just gonna wash my hands because I think he just like had some sort of scent or whatever. I don't know. But this hand's fine. This one, not so much. So just that. Sorry about that. Yeah, it stinks like a stink bug. Buffett's literally berry fart. Yeah, yeah, definitely a stink bug. But because I have the doors open because of how warm it's been, but there's a net on it. That's why I was confused about how the hell did you get in? But yeah, he's stinky. Still smell it. Fucking stink bugs coming around here, stinking the place out. Although it's not like a horrible smell, it's just a note. It's like coriander. And for those that don't like eating coriander, you know, there's that certain part of the population that can eat coriander and it tastes quite nice, but then there's like a certain amount within the population where coriander tastes like quite yucky, and it's a genetics thing. So it has that sort of how I would describe tasting coriander in your salad. Very far. last minute now. I had antibacterial hand gel. That was quite unusual. We get all the greatest guests dropping into the stream. Stink bugs and yeah. Right. I'll put some stuff. Oops, okay. Putting some basilicanum grey into the looks like the catapult. Coming around here stinking up the place. I don't know, we've got a show to run, to host. What kind of thing I'm used to. Yes, so back has probably had enough. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much that for now. Yeah, I'm the last of the big ships of what I've got for the Italian. So I've got quite a nice fleet there. I don't know how many points it all works out to, but yeah, you've got 2 fleets, I guess, with some submarine support. Ouch. So did a couple of the Sagittar work. Little attack subs. Really simple, straightforward. It's just a Horus, Sons of Horus green, and then washed. That's it. But it tones in nice. I wanted to do something different, and I said, painted in that sort of a nice Italian uniform green. Right. But yeah, I think I'll be caught up because I need to get to a better position because it's not comfortable. So yes, thank you very much for coming along and hanging out tonight. It's been much appreciated. Another 2 ships for the fleet. That's all I could really hope for. And it's nice to actually get to this point, and it's such a short time because, as I say, sometimes you just hit the ground running. I have, as I said, got a couple more of the Peugeot, and I've got 4 of the Peugeot, and I've got 4 of the Cestus Zebrak to do, and I think I've got a few more of these escort tokens, little hydrofoil escort tokens, which obviously you can't see. Well, no, okay, that's just straighten back. So yeah, I'll probably get on and finish them over the next couple of days when I'm in the zone again. But yeah, that's basically the entirety of a Mars battle fleet, a Minerva battle fleet, and 1 support squadron box set to do all these ships. So you've got some fleet options with your carriers, the heavy carrier, battleship, cruisers, attack cruise, and destroyers, and the Zebraks, and artillery cruisers, so, and repair cruisers. So it's a nice balance to it. I now, yes, I want to get it out on a ship, on a table, and let them loose. But until then, they shall be placed on a shelf and look awesome, no doubt. Take care, man. Thank you very much, Edwin. Lovely to have you back in here, buddy. Hopefully see you again at the weekend if you're about. I don't know what I'm painting yet. I'm sure I do have Titans to do, but it depends what takes my fancy. I might go Titan sort of thing, or I might try some of the other ships from one of the other factions. Sorry, But yes, thank you for popping along, hanging out, and enjoying the conversations, the chats, and obviously our stink bug visitor, our first stink bug visitor. Um, that speaks volumes. They're very choosy with what shows they drop into. Um, so it dropped in here. um, but yeah, until Wednesday, I hope you have a brilliant rest of the week until the weekend, and until Saturday, usual time, 8 p.m. and onwards. And yeah, who knows what we're doing. But take care of yourselves. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. So until then, adios muchachos, and have a great time. See you later.